Welcome back to Games and Players, where I talk about games for you, for us, the players. So Sega celebrates its 60th anniversary with a Game Gear Micro, and it's very micro. Now this is an article from Eurogamer, and I thought this is very interesting, but before I get into that, let's talk about how the PS5 reveal has been held back until further notice. So obviously on June the 4th we were supposed to get the reveal of the PS5 and maybe see the console and new games for the first time, but obviously due to current world events and things happening in the USA, many companies including Sony have decided to hold back on this current revealing of the PS5. Now obviously as a gamer one could say it's somewhat disappointing, but then again as a human being you could say, well, you have to understand both sides to a degree. You can't be too rash to say, oh, this is ridiculous and that is ridiculous. You do have to think deeper about certain things and not so much about yourself. But either way, we do have a slightly longer wait to see more about the PS5. And some have been saying and wondering if Sony has been using this as a let's say good tactic to not reveal what they have right now. And I could understand both sides of that as well, because Sony has been quite quiet this year with the PS5, so many are wondering if they're using this as another way to hold back on their revealing. I would say not. I believe Sony will have a big audience when they reveal it anyway. But what do you think on that? But let's get to Sega celebrating its 60th anniversary with the Game Gear Micro. Now I wonder if this was a big news Sega had that was supposed to be revealed this week. From Eurogamer by Martin Robinson, word's been going around for a while that Sega had some big news planned for this week, and it's leading with the announcement of a very small console coming out in 4 variants in Japan to make the 30th anniversary of Sega's only dedicated portable system. Due out on October 6th in Japan only for now. We've yet to hear about the plans for the Western release. And given how economic this diminutive machine is, we'd be surprised to hear any, basically. The 4 variants each come with their own 4 games, meaning you'll have to collect all 4 to get the entire catalogue, which is interesting to have to collect the different variations and colours to get all of the games. It obviously they want you to spend money and buy more of them to have the collection of them, and they do look quite nice, admittedly. They look nice, you know? But we'll see about the price in terms of getting multiple ones. Back to the article, it's a decent list, though with developers Ancients taking on Sonic the Hedgehog, for my money, one of the very best Sonic games, leading the way on the black version of the Game Gear Micro, alongside Puyotsu, if I've said that correctly, Outrun and Royal Stone, known as Crystal Warriors in the West. The Yellow Edition is something of a Shining Force special, with 3 of Sega's RPGs being bundled with Nazo Puyo, Areli Noru, a puzzle RPG hybrid. Now we'll leave the article there and say this is interesting. Obviously they should have internal charging and not run on batteries, because having a Game Gear when I was younger, for a short amount of time, it drank batteries. This is why I had to get rid of it. It cost too much in batteries, and my parents were getting annoyed to have to continually buy batteries just to play certain games. So in other words, I had to plug it in and sit next to the plug all the time to use my Game Gear just to save on batteries. So that's my brief story of my history with Game Gear. And yeah, Shinobi on the Game Gear was stunning. I spent so much hours in that game. But with new announcements from Sega and the delay from Sony, there are many things going on right now in the world of gaming. Some good, some bad, some new, some old, some remade, some remakes, some refreshes. Hopefully, many, many more new things. But what do you think? You think Sega's doing a good job? Do you think Sony is doing a good job themselves in holding off until further notice? But until then, here's to you, us, the players.